For today's video, we'll be taking a look at a new lightweight gaming mouse from Logitech, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT. Building on the shape of its predecessor, the ever-popular G304, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT comes with a significant bump up in specs, such as an updated Hero 44000 DPI sensor, a much lighter 59g build, and so on. As far as I can tell, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT is basically the Asian market variant of the G305 X SUPERLIGHT. Let's unbox this mouse and put it through its paces to see how it performs. Packaging wise, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT ships in a box bearing Logitech G's iconic blue and dark grey colorway, where we get the usual overview of specs for this mouse printed on the rear of the box. Opening up the box, Logitech's helpfully included connection instructions on these box flaps, where you can either connect the mouse to your PC via a LIGHTSPEED wireless connection or via Bluetooth. Here it is, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT. We'll set it aside for the moment so that we can see what else Logitech's included with it. Now, as can be seen, we get a whole bunch of documentation, starting with a safety, regulatory and warranty information leaflet, another regulatory compliance leaflet, and yet another regulatory information leaflet. Also included is an ordinary rubber-coated USB Type-A to USB Type-C connection and charging cable. First impressions of the mouse, it's really light, alright, where it weighs in at just 59g, a significant drop from the 99g weight of its predecessor, the vanilla G304. Build quality seems pretty decent, where I can't discern any squeaks or wobbles from pressing the various buttons that the mouse comes with. Aesthetics wise, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT carries over the classic egg shape of the original G304, where the mouse is available in either black or white colorways. We get a total of 6 programmable buttons on this mouse, along with a scroll wheel positioned between the left and right mouse buttons. The action of the left and right mouse buttons feel pretty decent, where as can be seen, we get minimal sideways play. Moving on, we don't get much post-click travel as well. Also, the scroll wheel feels good to use with distinct scroll steps and has a rubberized texture for better grip. Right beneath the scroll wheel is a DPI button that by default allows you to cycle through 5 DPI settings, and you get the ability to customize the function of this button via Logitech's G Hub app as well. Finally, we get 2 programmable side buttons on the left side of the mouse. Flipping the mouse over, we get 4 PTFE feet, 1 up top, 1 in the middle surrounding the sensor, and 2 at the bottom. We also get a storage compartment here for stowing away the LIGHTSPEED wireless USB receiver when it's not in use. Now, if you're familiar with the original G304, you'll note that a key difference between the G304 X LIGHTSPEED and the OG G304 is that we get a built-in rechargeable battery versus an AA battery with the OG 304, which would have been underneath the mouse hump. That aside, we also get a connectivity button here that allows you to toggle between a LIGHTSPEED wireless connection or a Bluetooth connection, as well as a power switch. Onto the front of the mouse, we get a USB Type-C port, which is used to charge the mouse, and you can use the mouse as a wired mouse too when it's charging. Materials wise, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT is constructed entirely of matte black plastic, and one of the standout features of the mouse is its RGB lighting implementation. Just below the scroll wheel is a RGB lighting strip that, due to its placement location, stays visible between your fingers while you're using the mouse. The RGB lighting, along with all of the other settings of the mouse, can be customized through Logitech's G Hub software. Onto the tech specs of the G304 X SUPERLIGHT. It has the dimensions as shown on the screen, where Logitech equipped the mouse with a Hero 44K sensor that supports an eye-watering DPI figure of, you guessed it right, 44,000. In terms of connectivity, this mouse supports Logitech's LIGHTSPEED 2.4 GHz wireless technology via the included USB receiver, or alternatively, you could connect it to your PC via a Bluetooth connection, or use the mouse as a wired mouse with the included USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. The G304 X SUPERLIGHT has a polling rate of 1 kHz, though this can be pushed up to a maximum of 8 kHz if you purchase Logitech's Pro wireless receiver that's sold separately. Logitech claims a battery life of up to 130 hours, and naturally, actual battery life will vary depending on one's usage conditions. If you've got the Logitech Pro wireless receiver for instance, running the mouse at the higher 8 kHz polling rate will run the battery down at a faster rate. Onto the usage experience with the G304 X SUPERLIGHT. I played several rounds of Fortnite with it, and as someone who uses a claw grip, I found the mouse pretty comfortable to use. The placement of the side mouse buttons is just right, and I have no issues with the ergonomics of the mouse as well, which should lend itself well to folks with a palm grip and perhaps even a fingertip grip as well. Using a gaming mousepad with a cloth surface, a Tough Gaming P1 to be precise, I discerned a bit more friction between the mouse feet and the mousepad than what I'm used to, and the friction was a little more audible too. This is really subjective, but I would have preferred smoother mouse feet for more glide, so to speak. In any case, once I started gaming, I didn't really notice the increase in friction nor the noise. The various settings of the G304 X SUPERLIGHT can be tweaked from within Logitech's G Hub app, which was a breeze to use and offered quite a fair bit of customization options. Under the sensitivity section right here, we get a whole bunch of DPI presets to choose from, where you can even configure the DPI settings of the X and Y axes independently. You can also save the DPI settings to the onboard memory of the G304 X SUPERLIGHT so that they'll be retained without needing to run G Hub on, say, another PC. Polling rate can also be adjusted from this section right here. And moving on, this section allows you to customize the 6 mouse buttons to your heart's content, where we get a lot of customization options. Next up is the light sync section that allows you to customize the lighting effects of the G304 X SUPERLIGHT. And finally, we get a B-hop setting that can be enabled to prevent unintended scrolling when the scroll wheel is moved by accident. While I didn't get the chance to test whether the G304 X SUPERLIGHT could really last up to 130 hours per charge, I did use the mouse for about 5 hours or so of gaming and normal use for this review, and the battery only dropped by 2% from a full 100% charge. To sum things up, the Logitech G304 X SUPERLIGHT is a pretty decent wireless gaming mouse that has lots going for it. We're talking a 44,000 DPI sensor, sub 60 gram weight, tri-mode connectivity, and lots of customization options thanks to Logitech's G Hub app. Downsides, it's a subjective preference, but I do wish that the mouse feet were a little smoother so that there'd be less resistance when using the mouse, though I must say once I started gaming, I didn't notice this slight increase in friction compared to the current gaming mouse that I'm using. In terms of pricing, the G304 X SUPERLIGHT is currently available to purchase in Singapore for a price of 119 Singapore dollars. With that, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys around the next time.